All right.
Of course. Okay, this one, I feel it.
If this works, centuries from now, someone's going to dig one of these things up and wonder what the heck it is.
5, 4, 3, 2, flip. Flip, damn you!
It's over.
No, it's not.
It's over. It's all right. We left this
All
one
right.
out there on the griddle.
Where's Pen?
We'll live to fight another day.
Yeah, I guess. I can't believe we wasted that batter.
No, I guess you can't make an omelet without breaking a few eggs, am I right? To the grocery store.
Okay. So, it's gonna be really.
Lucy here. Got socks? Jim the shoe doctor does. Stand out from the crowd in the most comfortable way possible. Buy a pair of socks.
Yeah, the feet are important for this one, right? All right, spine.
They have Socksmith, Sock It To Me, Sourpuss, and more. This just leaves one question to ask. Got socks? Jim the shoe doctor does. When it comes to selection, price, quality, and originality, nobody has more for you. Located at 4
I'm not an artist.
Avenue in Eugene.
My spine all the way up in here. Okay, man.
It's Taco Time
Which is
Sports
base
with
1,
deal, where you get 4
2,
delicious Taco Time
3,
favorites
4,
for just
5,
like our authentic crisp taco, the crisp one
6,
burrito, our
7.
famous Mexi fries,
Alright.
and a small drink. It's the 4
Well, T1 is actually way up here.
Taco Time.
Need to give your fitness goals a boost?
You don't go that low. 7 stops right there. So, all right.
Only $35 an hour.
So when I was, when 15 years old, I was on the wrestling team at St. John de Matha Catholic High School, and a national champion came in who was in college at that time. He was an Afro-American fellow. This is 1983. Okay, so we're shooting takedowns, and a takedown is scored by having your shoulders above the other person's shoulders in a takedown position, or that you take them on their side or whatever, or you flip them over on their back, lateral movement, shooting. All right, so what I did, you guys see me, what I did was I shot in really, really fast on this guy, right? So shooting in, you shoot from your knee, and you have your face up, right? Now, we were only shooting takedowns. At the end of the takedown, we were to stop wrestling, right? So I learned a very important thing about wrestling and fighting: don't ever stop, don't ever relax, okay? Because I shot in on this guy and I took him down because I had super speed and super strength at my age. I always have. And so I took him down, and he did what's called a 3/4 Nelson, which is taking an arm, one arm and going up in the air and then shoving down and having the other hand on top of it. So I took him down, I started to relax like this, and he takes my head and he shoves it really, really hard and goes under my left arm and just slams into me, right? So I screamed because I had totally relaxed. And this guy, like, I screamed because he hurt me, and everybody stops, and the guys come over, and it's not the brothers at that point, and these I don't care, Porter. All right, well, anyways, so they iced me really big time, and they talked among themselves, and they're like, well, we can't talk about this, because if we talk about this, then to one of the brothers are going to inform the school, because the brothers and the priests all worked along legal lines, and really that guy wasn't supposed to be there wrestling, and they weren't legally covered to have him wrestling there, so they were actually in big trouble, having me getting hurt like I did. So what happened at that time was this area. Let me get the color. All right. So when he slammed me down, we had this area and this area. Number 5 and 6 and 7 actually got decompressed and moved me into more of a position like that. Now, what happened in the subsequent months that occurred was I was in typing class and I had my hands in this position. And being in this position, my left arm, entire left arm, look, I buy this shit, entire left arm, all right, up into the neck, right, and crossing right about there in the center of my back, okay? And I'm getting numbness, it's swelling up, the blood vessels are getting really big on that arm. I have to wear a collar for like 3 weeks, and this is from the wrestling injury at the Mather. So I'm 16 at this time, and I'm working out with 80-pound curl weight. That's pretty big for a 16-year-old kid. And I'm benching like 225, but I worked and worked and worked and kept on the wrestling team, and I stopped wearing the collar because I just, I couldn't work out with the collar. I wore it as much as I could. So that was the very first damage to my neck. So it's interesting that this first damage occurred in a Catholic institution. All right, I want you to remember that, okay? So we're going to go to the next thing. That's very first damage at 16 years old. So we have something going on here. We have a decompression of the C5 through C7. Now, the reason why I say this, all right, and we're going to move forward in time, okay? Now, I could add in a posterior dislocation of the right shoulder to that little thing. So we would have had the right at 23, right? All right, let's have our guy again. Okay. All right, and I told you I'm not an artist, right? All right, at 23, shoulder, neck. All right, at 23, I do a flip off my motorcycle. There was a tree laying across the road. It was right after a storm, and it was hidden in the mist. And I'm doing like 30 miles an hour, 35 on my bike at the most. The speed limit was 30. So I know I wasn't going too far above that because it was just dangerous. The roads were slick. It was a brand new rain. There was fog in this one little spot. Now, suddenly I see through the fog this tree, and it's across both my lanes and one lane over here, right? It's come down from this side, it's across both my lanes and one lane over here, and I'm in the center lane, 4-lane road, and it's a curving road, and I have enough time, and I'm not going fast, mind you, all right? I have enough time to go, oh, and hit the brakes. I jump up in the air, because that's what you do, get away from the bike on a bad wreck. Jump up in the air, and I pulled the right hand grip off, so the rubber is in my hand, right? The steering wheel hit the log, and I had jumped in time for the steering wheel to hit me right here in the thigh and leave the handlebars, to leave a red ring right here as I launched over the bike, right? Now the bike is following right behind me. So at about 25 feet in the air, 30 miles an hour, 25 miles an hour, must have slowed myself down a little bit. I'm looking up at the air, a motorcycle above me going, oh shit, is that gonna kill me? And I hit the ground, bam, with the shoulder, blew it out the back of my, ouch, I shouldn't do that. So I blew it out the back of my shoulder, and the bike comes down and lands, and because I pulled the grip off, for some reason the throttle got stuck on it, right? So it hits the ground and bounces up and goes and runs into the guardrail about 50 feet up and keeps sliding along the guardrail with the throttle on, right? And then finally goes up the road, tips over, falls on its side, the carburetors get flooded, and it stalls itself out. All right? So so when that happened, we have this entire area here, all right, all the way in. Right? Posterior is blowing it out the back. So this took me 6 months to be able to lift it completely over my head, 9 months for strength, and all through my life it's bothered me. But meanwhile, there's something still here, okay? Because my whole life I'm having these neck crick problems, and my neck is bothering me all the time. I actually remember doing it as a little kid too, but not to this extent. I would crack my neck, but I remember my dad yelling at me saying, stop that, stop that. I was like 6, 7. I used to do it a lot. But, kids grow, right? The bones harden up. So all through my life, I'm having problems here. So we get to the boot camp. This is 1996 prison boot camp, and I'm not able to do push-ups and arm and shoulder rotations because I keep having extreme problems with my left shoulder, okay? So we have it documented there. This is 96 through 97 that I'm having problems through stabilization of the shoulder blade, and it's going up into my face a little bit and down my arm, just a little bit, not much. It's up in my neck. Let's not say my face, that's up here, all right? There's actually a complete new muscular system as we hit the face, all right? I need to sit down. So, all right, so you see where we are. We're in 1997. I'm alternating exercises instead of instead of doing all the push-ups. This is just a normal day for me too, guys. All right, it's a bad day. It's a bad day. But I have a lot of bad days, and I have a lot of good days. So, here, give me a second. I'm gonna get a chair and come back, and we're gonna continue this.